presentation here. There we go. I think so. There we go. Can you see my PowerPoint presentation now, folks? Yeah. Put your thumbs up if you can. Yeah, awesome. And I'm just going to start the slides here. Bear with me. I am not so amazing when it comes to technology, Everybody has their, yay, there we go. All right, folks. So I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible. I know that we're all busy and it's a night. Let's try to keep it to about 30 minutes, maybe plus questions. But what is this all about? Well, I want to start with the question from this guy who many of you might know. He's the richest investor in the world, like what always tops the 2 to 3 most richest people in the world. And I think he's very wise. I really enjoy listening to him and his talks. And he's not just talking about money; he's talking about life a lot. And he asked a college class this question. I think is very, very profound, which is if you had any car that you just wanted, you can choose any car you wanted, but you could only have this one car for your whole life. How well would you take care of that car? Probably really well, right? But the reality is, like, most of us will have more than one car in our life. Maybe not in Holland. You drive bicycles all the time, so, but maybe the rest of the world at least. But we will only have one body and one mind. So we better take good care of it. And if you don't have, if you don't take care of your body, where are you going to live? Most people, or if not all people, they want to be healthy, but they don't want to eat grass all day long. And a lot of people think that that's what they have to do, more or less. If they want to stay really healthy, they have to live super healthy, not eating any cakes, and just eat greens all day long. And that might have been true until the discovery we're going to be talking about tonight, because it's a major breakthrough that is transforming the effectiveness of ordinary nutrients. It is basically a combination of new and old technology. But it's really briefly about who I am. I'm from Denmark. I have lived in 12 different countries right now. Right now, I'm living in Moscow with my wife and stepdaughter. You see here in the picture. And for 35 years, I have been in the health industry, in and out. I started very, very young, got into business 21 years of age. And because I actually had some health problems, I had some problems with my back, went to a massage therapist and thought, this is amazing. I love this massage thing. And became very interested in the whole holistic health field. And then it became my business and my passion. In between, for many years, I've also been in the marketing industry and been a life coach, helping people make breakthroughs in their life when they're stuck. And it's one thing that I've really, really enjoyed doing, is helping people get the courage to go after their dreams in life. But what happened to get me to where I am here today, talking to you wherever you are? How did I end up here? It's basically because 3 years ago, I got a very severe case of pneumonia that was followed by, that basically came from COVID. And it was just before my wedding day. And I actually had to be like pumped full of drugs even to be able to stand and say yes and all that kind of stuff. And very, very shortly thereafter, I went into hospital with very severe pneumonia. And when I came out, I had a long, long, long list of problems: anxiety, depression, pain in joints and muscles, sleep problems, severe sinus problems, really bad cognitive problems. I was such a bad brain fog many times that it was trouble for me to get the words out of my mouth. Short-term memory was practically non-existent. And on top of that, severely reduced muscle strength. It was really tough for me just to carry myself up to the first floor in a house. And in the 35 years that I've been in the industry, I have tried hundreds of natural remedies. The two most powerful solutions that I ever tried, obviously I tried them in this situation. I was really looking for something, but they had either very little effect or no effect at all. So that's basically why I was looking for something else. And, some people will just kind of settle. They give in and they say, oh, my doctor told me I have to live with this for the rest of my life. Well, okay. If that's you, then I would say good luck. It's my experience that if you get a sentence like that from a doctor, that in most cases there's other things that you actually can't do. So I never want to just like give in to a sentence like that. I want to start looking, taking control of my life, and that's what led me to this Facebook group. Well, actually, it was through a common contact that introduced me to a guy in the U.S. called Stephen Keller. He invited me to take a look here in this group, Disruptive Wellness, and I saw hundreds of unbelievable stories. And then, like, since I've been in the industry, I'm used to stories of recovery that is kind of crazy. But what I saw here was like, this is a different level. There's something different going on here. And I don't believe that, thousands of people can all agree on a placebo effect and be more crazy about one product than any other. I don't think that that's possible. So I knew there was something going on, and I just knew that I had to at least try it for myself. And then if in fact that it was true what they were talking about, that I had to spread this to the world, right? So actually what happened with me? Well, within the first 2 hours, I started to have my brain fog lift. I was literally in the middle of a business meeting where in the beginning, as it was standard for me those days, I was struggling to get the words out of my mouth. And suddenly within 10, 15 minutes into this meeting, I'd taken drops, a couple hours previously, suddenly this brain fog just started to lift and I could start talking normally again. Words started flowing out of my mouth. And it was just an amazing feel. I'll tell you, it was actually kind of hard to concentrate on the business meeting at that point, because I just wanted to like stand up and like, my God, this works, because this was a meeting about something completely different. They didn't know anything about this. They didn't know anything about my challenges. So I was just sitting in this meeting and being incredibly happy, because I could see that this is really working. So after 2 days, I started sleeping much, much better. After 3 to 4 weeks, practically all my symptoms went away. And even stuff that I had for decades, like small complaints, sometimes a little bit bigger complaints, like severe back problems sometimes, that just went away, right? So that's obviously why I'm here today, because I wanted to share this breakthrough with this world. Now, I have a question for you. Do people want to feel younger or older? Obviously, they want to feel younger. But if you go to Google, that's what I did. I go into Google and Google how many people live with a chronic condition. What do you think the number is? Well, it's actually around 60% of adults in the Western world live with a chronic condition. 70% of deaths in the US are caused by chronic illnesses. And it's really, really sad as well that 42% of children live with one or more chronic illnesses. They're obviously trying a lot of different things for this, like chemical medicine that we all knew have potential grave side effects. People are trying ordinary supplements, sometimes very expensive supplements that have little effect, and also very limited diets with, questionable effect. Now, I want to ask another question. If you imagine that you had the perfect car, like your dream car, and you put the best oil in it, you put the best fuel in it, but you are driving with the brakes down all the time, what's going to happen? Well, at best, you're not going to get the ultimate out of this car. You're not going to get the most out of it. And at some point, it will probably break down. And that's kind of what's happening in this day and world. It's a good picture thing to what's actually happening. A lot of experts are talking about this thing called chronic inflammation and how it disrupts the body. It breaks down normal functions in the body and it speeds up aging. And experts talk about it like being a fire in the body. So the reality here is that you can eat all the healthy food you want and take ordinary supplements and all that kind of stuff. And that can be good for you, but it is just not enough for a lot of people. At least it's just not enough anymore, because we live in a world that we are not really created to live in, right? The world that we are created to live in is not very stressful, full of clean air, clean water, and we live in small communities where we feel very, very safe and everybody loves each other and all that. That's just not how we live today. We have tons of chemical exposure. We have enormous amount of stress. And on top of that, to top it off, we have less nutrients in our food than we ever had before. So if eating normally, you probably heard this before, just eat a varied diet, just eat a balanced and, varied diet, healthy diet. Well, if that was enough, why are people getting sicker and sicker? Like autoimmune disease is increasing by 5 to 8% per year at the moment. So why are people getting sicker and sicker if all we should do is just eating healthy and balanced diets? It's obviously not enough. Okay. So if you want to change your health, you need a different approach. Okay. Now, who knows one of these? Probably all of you, right? Who uses one of these anymore? I would say anybody who's, I would say 45, 50 years old, probably used one of these. Younger people are like only seen them in museums, right? I know I've used one. We don't use them anymore. Why? Because they're outdated, because there was a new technology that came in and completely made it completely obsolete, right? And it's the same thing that happens in any field, basically. And it's the same thing that's happened now with the technology that we are talking about tonight. It is going to make certain nutrients obsolete unless you add what we have. So we are talking about another option, and it is these biomass products, 2 biomass products. And biomass is basically a natural extract. We call it a nanotechnology because it's so incredibly small. Okay, and we're going to get to that in a second. But it's basically new scientific breakthrough that is combined with age-old technology called curcumin, which is an extract from turmeric. You probably all use turmeric supplements, or at least heard how good they are. But there is a big problem with curcumin. Okay, and the problem is that for it to work, it needs one thing. It needs to get into the cells. And since it's what's called a fat-soluble nutrient, it is very hard for the body to absorb it. So therefore, it has very, very low absorption. And that is the problem that our company, Vitify, has solved. Actually, we didn't actually solve it. It's a German lab that developed it. We have bought the rights for it. Okay. So here is the difference between ordinary turmeric, because some people will say, oh, like I'm taking a turmeric product. Okay, well, at the end of this presentation, I almost guarantee you'll understand why just taking an ordinary turmeric product will have very little effect. And you say, whoa, okay, it's worked fairly well already. Okay, well, if ordinary turmeric has worked for you, well, I'll tell you, you are going to get an incredible result. I'm almost guarantee you from this. All right, so check out this little video. Okay, I'm going to start it now, if I can. Oops, no, it's not starting. Let me see here. There we go. All right, let me just reverse it again, hopefully. Let me just see if we can start it from the beginning. All right, you see here, ordinary turmeric to the left. It's not mixing into water. And then we have our solution here to the right, and it easily mixes into water. Right. And that is the difference. Our breakthrough, when we mix the biomass, it becomes water soluble and it increases absorption 277 times up to, which is way more than any other technology that is increasing absorption. Some people say, oh, I'm mixing turmeric with pepper. And yet there's an extract from pepper called pepperine, but it increases absorption 20 times. But pepper actually can have some damaging effects on your liver if you eat a lot of pepper over a long period of time. So bottom line is there's no other solution as effective. Just to visualize the difference here between ordinary turmeric and ours. If you imagine this old Volkswagen Beetle, it can do about 100 kilometers per hour. Now, if you take a space rocket can do about 28,000 kilometers per hour. And that is about the difference and the relationship between ordinary turmeric in our solution with biomass. 277 times more powerful. To make it maybe even more visualizable, 10 drops with biomass is equivalent to 8 kilos of raw turmeric. Okay, so good luck getting enough turmeric into your body, or curcumin into your body. Who can eat 8 kilos of turmeric every day? Well, I certainly couldn't or wouldn't. Of course, we have all the certifications. It's been clinically certified and all that from the University of Hohenheim, that we have this increased bioavailability, and also that it is completely safe for the body. It is out of the body within 24 hours without any interaction in the body. It simply is a small molecule that wraps around a micronized turmeric. It swims well in both water and fat. You know that water and fat doesn't mix, but because of this technology, it swims well in both water and fat, and it goes into the cells and being out of the cells again within 24 hours. Delivers turmeric and exits the body within 24 hours. Absolutely amazing. We could talk a lot about the science and showing graphs and all that kind of stuff, but for me, and I think for most people, and then, like, if you're a scientist or a doctor, obviously, you know, you're going to want to know more than this that we hear tonight. But for almost everybody, you know, like me, I just needed to see, does it work? How does it work for normal people? All right, so let me just go over a few stories. You know, first of all, where do we see the results? Because inflammation disrupts normal functions. When you get rid of the inflammation, your body can usually fix itself. Does it make sense? Right. So if you just have a good environment for the body can fix itself. The body is supposed to, you know, it can do what it's supposed to. Right. So therefore, we see results with a lot of different situations, like energy, pain, cognitive problems, sleep, mental problems, respiratory problems, skin problems, hormonal problems, blood circulation problems, and so on. And by the way, there are now over 20,000 studies on turmeric and how it affects chronic conditions. So if you really want to dig deep, just go and Google it. You know, Google, for example, whatever, you know, I don't know, turmeric migraine studies, asthma migraine studies, and so on and so on. We don't have any studies on our product because we live in a kind of a funny world, okay? If we had these studies on our product, we would not be allowed to tell anyone. We would literally be shut down by the authorities because we're not a drug. We're not allowed to talk about how this can affect diseases. And that's just how it is, right? But you can go and Google what turmeric has been proven to do, and then you can kind of add two and two together. Like if you see, like, okay, like, well, science says that it will probably be a good idea to take turmeric in my situation. Where do I get the most effective turmeric product? Well, it's the one that has the highest absorbability, and that's ours, right? So you can just kind of add two and two together. I'll share a couple of stories here. Obviously, we can't show you stories that is not visual in nature. You know, we have so many stories, but I want to show you here a few that is kind of visual in nature, so you can see it before and after. This is our friend in Denmark, Ebbe, who has a severe condition here for many years. A severe problem here with his skin, and just after 5 weeks, there's a situation, and this is after 7 weeks. And he said it was the first time in many years he can go with shorts in the summertime without feeling embarrassed. We have lots of situations where people's edema has been dramatically improved. I actually had some problems with edema before, which now it's very rare that I have any. I never have any. It's much less than I had before. It was not as severe as in these pictures, but you know, you can see here that there's absolutely dramatic effect, and that is. Look, I'm not a scientist. I'm not claiming to see everything that's going on in the body. But what I can say is that, first of all, turmeric has been proven to increase blood circulation. And turmeric has also been proven that it decreases inflammation. And when your body has a lot of inflammation, chronic inflammation, it'll hold water. right? And then you can add two and two together and think, okay, well, if it lowers inflammation, then maybe the body doesn't need to hold water anymore. And if it improves circulation, it can easily get rid of all that stuff, right? So that's why we see incredible results with that. I can go on and on and on. If you feel you need more proof, I understand. You should be skeptical. Like people say, well, I'm skeptical. Great. It's great you're skeptical. But just understand there's a difference between skeptical and cynical. Skeptical people, they will do their due diligence. And if you feel you really need to do your due diligence and go deeper, well, I highly recommend you go to VitalFiResults.com. Also, if you're not already in the Facebook group I mentioned before, just ask the person that invited you. And they will supply you with an invite to this Facebook group where you can see all these amazing results. Okay. So VitalFiResults.com is a forwarding link to a YouTube playlist where you can see videos, including my story in detail. And also did this interview with this guy who unbelievably lost 15 pounds in 3 days. That's obviously not fat loss. It's obviously weight loss. Again, when the body, when you lower inflammation, the body can release all that excess water. By the way, there's an incredible story here also with a lady has been a organic turmeric farmer, I think for 20 years, like for a long time, and been taking organic turmeric obviously every single day. And she got very, very sick. And after taking our product, it reversed very, very quickly. And so like she's a fan. And again, so that's a great story to show people or to go and see if you think like, oh, I can just take normal turmeric, right? So the bottom line, really, what we're talking about tonight is this. It's a breakthrough that will change the supplementation industry when it comes to fat-soluble supplements. Our secret is simply better absorption up to 277 times. And we need to address what is going on in terms of inflammation. If we are going to function optimally in this world today, we need to lower chronic inflammation in our body. And when it does, when we do it, the body can, in most cases, fix a lot of the problems, right? Because that's what it's designed to. It's just that it's disrupted by all this chronic inflammation all the time. So this is our one of our main products. We have two main products. They are more or less the same, but ask the person that invited you which one that they will recommend. I kind of recommend just trying them both and just see which one works best for you, because they are more or less the same. It's just that there's ginger in one of them and not ginger in the other one. Obviously turmeric in both of them. I like the one with ginger. That's the one I prefer. But I do mix them up, and that's what I would recommend you to do in the beginning, and just feel what's going on in your body. What's happening in your body. One thing I do want to say though is that if you choose to do this, now you'll hear all these stories about people having results in hours or days. Okay, I just wanted to understand that is not what's happening for a lot of people. For a lot of people, it takes weeks or even months. And think about if it's taken decades, years or decades to get to where you are today, where your body is not functioning properly, why would you expect to be fixed in a week? It doesn't make any sense. Take your time. Take 3, 4, 5 months of testing this out. Give it a chance to actually start working. You need to get the toxins out of your body first. You need to lower the inflammation first. Then the body can start slowly fixing, right? We do get quick results, I would say, compared to anything else I've ever dealt with. We do get quicker results on average, but just be patient. We had somebody that took 5 months, and then within a very short time, suddenly everything turned around for them. I had one of my people that I introduced had no results the first month, practically no results second month. She almost gave up and said, give it another month. And she did. And at the end of the third month, she called me back and she was in tears because she said the best 2 days in 25 years. She's actually been sick her whole adult life. So give it time. Give it time. It's worth it. All right. So what it all comes down to is ask yourself this. If this was really something that could massively impact your health, like it's done for so many people, would it be worth just trying out for just €2 a day? Would €2 a day be worth feeling better? Maybe better sleep, more mental clarity, better energy. For me, that's a no-brainer. What else do we use €2 a day for? And it can even be a lot less than that if you are joining us as an ambassador. It could be a lot less than that. So if all you want to do is have better health, feeling better, get back to the person that invited you tonight. And then basically tell them, look, I'm ready to get started, or I want to know more, or it's not for me. It is just not for me. I feel absolutely great the way I am. It is perfectly fine. We don't want to push you to try it. We're just very passionate because most of us has probably had a transformational story for ourselves. And if not, we've seen transformation stories in other people that are close to us. So we're very passionate about this, but we don't want to push this on you. So just get back to the person and tell them where you are. You want to get started, you want to know more, or you don't want to do it. It's absolutely fine. Now, maybe you want more. Maybe you want more than just better health. Maybe you're one of those people like me that, starting to think at some point that my job was interfering with my life. You want more choice, you want more financial security, more time, and make money in a way that you can really be proud of. And also, maybe you're starting to realize that the world is changing unbelievably fast at the moment. And it's a quite uncertain future we go into where AI could take over. Actually, I heard the other day that AI is predicted to either completely take over or greatly affect 40% of jobs in the world by 2030. That's 6 years, 6 years from now. Right? So is your job going to be around? Even doctors, even lawyers. That AI now will predict court cases. So they don't need to go into court. They have AI predicting court cases. How crazy is that? So it's not just like manual jobs that are affected. And maybe some of you have also realized that, the inflation is hurting a bit, because if you made 50,000 last year, you need to make 50,000 this year just to keep up with inflation and expenses. So if you can relate to that, really pay close attention now, because with every great scientific breakthrough comes great opportunities. And it's always the first movers that have the greatest benefits. Just think about Apple, Microsoft, other tech companies, all the big breakthroughs. The people that were in from the beginning were obviously the people that reap the greatest benefits. The same thing with vitamins and minerals, with the discovery of antioxidants and so on and so on. Now, today, the next frontier really is the delivery mechanism. And we are way ahead of the competition in this field. So what is it actually that we do here at Vidify and us as an independent entrepreneur? We basically find people in pain or some kind of discomfort, whether it's low energy, bad sleep, physical problems, mental problems that we talked about before, all these problems people have today. And we simply let them know that there is a new alternative to the chemical medicine and the expensive supplements that doesn't really work, and restricted diets and so on. And we will teach people how to find these people either online or in the real world. It doesn't matter. There are people everywhere. We will teach you exactly how to do it in the most effective way. And when the people that you reach out to choose our option and buy a product, Vidify will send you a commission. And they'll keep on doing that as long as that customer buys month after month after month. Now, and that's great. That can give you a very significant side income. But if you maybe want to have a completely different career, or you want financial freedom, you want to travel the world, and you don't want to be thinking about where do I make the money from next month and so on. If you want to have complete financial freedom, let's talk about how you do that. Because that will require something else than just selling products. Okay. Now, that is the secret basics to financial freedom is leverage. Leverage combined with passive income. Because if we have active income is basically where you need to be there. You need to be there. You're there 40 hours, you get paid 40 hours. If you get sick, you don't get paid. If you sleep, you don't get paid. You have to be there. What that means is that you're basically on a treadmill. Okay. I know people don't like to think of themselves that way, but sometimes it's good to be real about it. I realized this relatively early in my life. Somebody just told me, Patrick, I mean, are you aware that you're more or less a glorified slave? You will never be fully free if you continue to only make active income. You need to start making passive income, okay? And you need to start getting leverage. So this is how it works. So the great thing is that our product works so well. So some people fall so much in love with them that they will want to help other people as well. So when they go out and share it and you introduced it to the people that share it, you will also get a little bit of that. You'll get a small percentage. And it gets even better when they introduce it to others. You will also get a small percentage, and that's how you can make a lot of money and become financially free. Then this is fantastic because you'll have friends not just thanking you for better health, but also for getting an extra income stream, and that can alleviate a lot of stress. When people have an extra income stream, you can have a lot more, you can sleep a lot more soundly, and that can actually have a profound impact on your health, which I personally know firsthand what the effects of financial stress can do for you, do for your health in a negative way. It's absolutely horrible. I lived with that for years and I never want to go through it again. So is this the best business model ever? Not necessarily for everyone. Look, if you have access to a lot of money, or you're super brilliant, like you came up with an invention or something, like you're next level thinker, maybe it's better to go out and launch a multi-million dollar tech business or something like that. But for ordinary people, I think this is the best business model ever, right? So, and I'll tell you why. Just a few reasons, and I'll tell the real reason for me why this stands out so much with this business model. But first of all, low startup cost. You can start for less than €1,500, even for a few €100. I mean, where can you get a business then with unlimited income potential, making more money than a McDonald's franchise, with a few €100? Free marketing material. You don't have to develop it. Free product development. I said free marketing material again here. I should have been free website. You have a free portal where people can buy through. Right. But the best and most amazing benefit of this business is, I want to go back to when I started my first business at 21. And within a relatively short time, I knew I had no clue to how to do this. I wasn't making enough money to pay my mortgage. I barely had enough money to pay my heating bills. Actually, at some point, I actually ran out of oil, which I was heating my house with. And I felt really alone. I felt like, where can I go to financiers? I didn't have money to hire coaches. I didn't have money to hire consultants or even take any trainings. I was broke and nobody could give me the answers. Right. And there was a very tough time in my life. And in fact, when I got into network marketing, it completely transformed my life. And then I was stupid enough to sell that position and go back to traditional business. And it went all wrong again. And I was this close to living on a street in England. I was constantly behind with my rent. And, having landlord knocking on my door says, where's rent? Where's rent? And again, I didn't know what to do. I was lost. And that is the best ever thing in this business, that you're never alone. We're doing this together. And there's always someone ahead of you. And guess what? They're being paid for you to succeed. The more you succeed, the more they're paid. Therefore, they're very interested in seeing you succeed. It's the perfect business model for me, for ordinary people, to have someone who's actually done it, who knows how to do it, and that can coach you for free. Free coaching, free training. It's almost like too good to be true. But that's why I love this business model so much. So if we were just to sum it up really, really quickly, everybody wants to feel great and live longer. They want to stay young, but 60% actually have an urgent need for our solutions. And our solutions are by far the most effective that I know of and come across in 35 years in the industry than any other solution in terms of lowering inflammation and getting the body back to a position where it can actually start to heal itself. You can do this for as little as €2 a day. That's all it costs, or €1 if you are a part of the club that goes out and spread it. And some people say, well, then people say that I need to take more in the beginning. And yes, okay, well, that's normal. Like in the beginning, you might have to take more, you might have to double dosage. And so, but seriously, like, would it be worth €4 a day for a month or 2 months? And then to go down to €2 per day? Like you can't even get a cappuccino at your favorite coffee house for €2, right? So for me, it's worth it for sure. And all we do is basically people giving the choice. We just say, hey, look, this is the choice. There's no sales pushing. We don't do that. We just simply say to people, look, this is a choice you have. You can stay where you are, or you can come with us. And when people join and they go out and build a business, Vidify will send you a bonus weekly or monthly, both weekly and monthly. Monthly when it's the passive income. And the passive income is where we can go out and build a team of people that go out and do it, where you get paid from all of their efforts. And the great thing is you can do it part-time or full-time. It's completely up to you whenever you want. And you can do it anywhere in the world. Did I miss that slide? There we go. You can do it from anywhere in the world. So what's going to be easier for you to continue to try to survive on one paycheck, making someone else rich, or start creating a real asset that can set you free for life? You now have two choices. You can go into door number 1 or door number 2. And door number 1 is the familiar door. It's going back to where you are. It feels familiar and safe, but it's not necessarily, if you really think of it, is that what you really want? Is it the same? Is it more of the same? Door number 2, that's for me the door that I took. It completely transformed my life. I now have a big team. It's growing. We're making an impact together. We're having fun together. I'm going to come soon to Europe again, by the way. And travel around, especially in Denmark, maybe other places. And it's been completely life transforming for me. To take door number 2, that's the door of opportunity. It may feel that it's the unsafe choice. It feels unfamiliar for sure. But for me, that was the only choice to take for me for sure. Because today it's actually less safe to stay the same. It's less safe, in my opinion, and that of many experts in business, entrepreneurship, and thought leaders say that the world is developing so fast, it is less safe to stay the same. So that's your options, door number 2 or door number 1. It's completely up to you. Go back to the person that invited you and tell him which door you want to take. And it's all going to be okay, whichever door you want to take. And I hope that you will join us, though, and I'll hear of your results, both in the products and with the business. I'm here to help you get to your dreams, and hopefully, I will see you soon somewhere in the world. Giving you a hug, and I'm a huggy kind of person. So that's it for tonight, folks. If you have any questions, I'll be hanging around for another few minutes. Any questions? Or Iwan, you want to take the word?